Uh, Very good morning, all of you. So, on behalf of Anna Sahib Dange College of Pharmacy, I'd like to welcome a speaker of today's session, Mr. Deepak Mali sir. He is assistant professor in Bharati Vidyapeeth College of Pharmacy, Kolhapur. So, for this today's webinar session, sir is going to have a topic or going to speak on topic that is protein synthesis. So, before going to the topic, let me introduce today's guest. Uh, Sir have completed his graduation, that is Bachelor of Pharmacy in 2006, post-graduation, that is Master in Pharmacy in 2008. Sir have also completed his PG Diploma in Patents Law in 2012. Coming to his experience, sir is having more than 12 years of experience. He have taught both UG as well as PG level. At the same time, sir have guided 8 students for M Pharmacy. He is having 7 research publications in international journals with cumulative factor, that is impact factor is 11.14. Sir is having patent on him. Apart from that, he is author for 2 books in pharmacy. He's working as also a resource person for many other university sponsored activities, and he's reviewer for some national and international journal. So with this short introduction, once again, I welcome Assistant Professor Deepak Mari, sir. So now towards you, sir, I'll stop the sharing. That you can start with the sharing of a screen, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Sutar sir. It's my pleasure again to interact with the students of Anna Sahib Dange College of Pharmacy, Ashta. Am I audible?
Yeah, yes, you're audible, sir.
Sir,
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
okay. Good morning to all students. Okay. Today we'll start with, I have chosen the topic in the biochemistry for the first year students, that is protein synthesis. Already I have one discussion. I have one interaction with the first year students during the, just a minute. Okay. So during HR sharing activity of which was conducted by Shivaji University Kolhapur, and I was there for first year students, and we you remember we have discussed the topic DNA synthesis, right? So today in connection with that, we'll discuss the next point within the nucleic acid that unit, that is protein synthesis. So as we know, proteins are large complex molecules that are made up of hundreds or thousands of smaller units called amino acids, which are attached to one another in long chains. And we know they play many critical roles in the body. Okay, if we consider its role, okay, they do most of the work in cells and are required for the structure, function, and regulation of the body's tissues and organs. We know in human body there are 20 different amino acids, and when they combine together and in particular sequence, they determines that particular protein's unique 3D structure. And that's why if the protein is different, no doubt its function may be different, and it may be the specific function. We know because of the 20 amino acids, there are n number of possibilities are there and combinations are there which lead to the formation of proteins. Generally, uh, it is said that more than 1 lakh types of kinds of proteins, means different proteins are there in human body, and these are only from only 20 different types of amino acids. No doubt this is the specialty of the proteins, as the sequence of amino acids and the number of amino acids determines the protein's uniqueness, its 3D structure, and that's why its specific function. Proteins are of great nutritional value because we know, we have studied in initial chapters of the biochemistry also that protein is one of the macromolecule. Along with carbohydrates, fats, lipids, this protein act as a one of the major macromolecule which gives nutrition, which gives energy to the body, and that's why having great nutritional value. and are directly involved in the chemical processes essential for the life. So this is what, in short, about proteins. If we see uh, the functions and the different kinds of proteins, then you will come to know generally protein is such a large category in our body. We usually come to know that generally we know antibodies. So antibodies are made from the protein itself. When we talk about enzymes, these are made from the proteins, because in the definition of enzyme itself, we define enzymes as a these are proteinous in nature. So we know antibodies which bind to specific foreign particle. It may be virus, it may be bacterial parts, and it helps to protect the body. We all know the example of antibodies, IgG, IgM are there. Okay, so different immunoglobulins are there. When we move towards enzymes, uh, in our body, nothing is possible without the role of enzyme, because for the chemistry to occur, body requires some catalyst. Okay, and because of this catalyst, the reactions becomes faster. As we know, in our body at a time, thousands and lakhs and much more reactions are carried out at the same time in our body, because every cell requires energy, every cell requires uh, if it is the glucose source, then glycolysis should be there. We know in only glycolysis there are 10 steps, 9 to 10 steps are there. In every step, uh, for each step, specific enzyme is there. So only for glycolysis, near about 9 to 10 enzymes are involved. When we see Krebs cycle, when we see means when we talk about any kind of metabolism, nothing is possible without the involvement of the enzymes, and these enzymes are made from the proteins. So see the importance of proteins in the body. So we know around thousands of such a chemical reactions are taking place in the cell. They are assist with formation of new molecules by reading the genetic information stored in the DNA. So I think you have, if you are remembering, we have seen the DNA synthesis, and for DNA synthesis, the enzymes, many enzymes like uh, generally the major enzyme required is DNA polymerase, which carry out synthesis of the DNA. Along with that, different helicase, topoisomerase, and different enzymes are there. So starting from DNA synthesis means to form the new molecule, also the enzymes are necessary. uh, Next role or next function of protein is messenger, and generally it is in the form of generally hormones. So we know sex hormones are there, which are again made from the proteins, and see again the importance of the proteins. So messenger proteins such as some types of hormones transmit signals to coordinate biological processes between different cells, tissues, and organs. And well-known example of hormone is growth hormone. Okay. Next category, or we can say next function of proteins, we can categorize it as a structural component. So protein involved in the structural parts means proteins as a structure. So these are the different roles of the protein and where it acts as a structure. So we know, for example, cell wall is there, cell membrane is there. So if you remember the that constitution of that cell wall, cell membrane, generally we see glycoproteins are there, lipoproteins are there. So what is this? So proteins in combination with some carbohydrate, protein in combination with some other lipids, they are there to form the cell structure. So starting from cell structure, may other if you see the if you remember the DNA synthesis, at that time also we have seen the histone particles, histone proteins are there. So, okay, so this is the kind of protein around which the DNA strand is coiled and supercoiled. Okay, so again, to hold that strand at a place in a folding condition, in a supercoiling condition, histones are required. So protein is required. So this is another category of we can say proteins based on its role. The next category that we can see is its transport role, or we can say its storage role. So these proteins bind and carry out atoms and small molecules within cells and throughout the body. Generally, we know globulin is there, and we all very well know that hemoglobin. Okay, so heme is transported throughout the body with the help of that globulin protein. So here the role of that protein is to transport, and no doubt in some part it may act as a storage, because it helps in storage of that heme on the globulin. So some kind of storage function is there. So this is what about the protein description according to their large range of functions in the body. When we see the proteins, generally these are made from amino acids. Here only I have taken two amino acids representative structures. One amino acids COH group and second amino acids NH3 group. When they condense together to form a peptide bond with elimination of that condensed means water molecule to give the protein structure. So here only two are shown. Likewise 2, 3, 10, 50, 20. Okay, so many times one if 50 amino acid chain is there, another 50 amino acid chain is there. So these two chains again combine together to form a 100 amino acids structure. So protein here. In short, that just we have discussed. This is how proteins having different types and different functions in hormone. For example, insulin. Insulin is again made from the protein. In case of when we talk about protection, immunoglobulin antibodies are there, which helps body for the protection purpose. When we see the transportation mechanism by the protein, it is in the form of hemoglobin. When we see enzyme examples, different, including from DNA synthesis, RNA synthesis, glycolysis, Krebs cycle, and HMP shed, and everywhere enzymes are required. So again, these are made from the protein. When we see the storage form of protein is the peritin. Okay, it helps in storage of that particular ions. When we see the spider which waves his what we say at that time, uh, he secret one special chemical, and that chemical includes the protein, and that protein here act as a structural part, because we know that particular the uh, this material secreted by that spider is strong enough to hold any kind of means that insects. Okay, the proteins are involved or functions as a receptor. For example, rhodopsin is there, okay, which act as a receptor and it is a protein in nature. Then actin, myosin, these are the muscles, and this function, contraction, relaxation, is based on their activity, and these are made from protein. So in short, whatever we have seen in last slide in descriptive manner, here it is in the some representative manner. If we see location of the protein synthesis, generally the process takes place in the ribosomes. And we know where are the ribosomes. These are again, it may be free floating or it may be attached to the rough endoplasmic reticulum. So based on that, ribosomes generally occur at two types, means at two different places. It may be floating, freely floating within the that cytoplasm, and second, it may be attached to the rough endoplasmic reticulum. And here it is called as that endoplasmic reticulum is the cell organelle. So it is in free form or it is in bound form. If we see the storage of proteins, generally, if you see the supply and demand chain, if it is in balanced state, then there is no problem. But when supply is more, demand is less, or vice versa, there occurs imbalance. So when we talk about protein synthesis in our body, generally, whatever amount of protein is required to the body, only that much amount is synthesized. Okay, no excess synthesis is necessary, no less is required also. So generally, that synthesis is in what we say equilibrium, and therefore the generally the storage of protein is not necessary to the human body. Whatever are synthesized are utilized. So supply is equal to, here we can say, demand. Generally what happens, we consume the proteins through the diet. If the excess protein is consumed in the diet, then generally what happens, that excess amount of protein is converted into fats. Maybe in the form of glucose or triglycerides. And we know the different macromolecules, as we have studied in different chapters of the biochemistry, how these macromolecules or metabolism or interconversion of this glucose means carbohydrate, protein, and lipids takes place. And these are used to supply energy or build energy reserves, so act as a energy source for the body. if it is in excess form. But when the proteins are taken in less amount through the diet, then no doubt body will try to metabolize, body will try to uh, uh, break down the protein rich tissues such as muscles. And if we know, if the condition lasts for longer time, then it leads to muscle wasting, and eventually means it is in rare cases, many times death also occurs if the deficiency is severe. So generally when we talk about storage of proteins, so as such proteins are not stored, no doubt. If they are moving, they are in their functional itself. Okay, so generally proteins are not stored for later use in the animals. Uh, so today's topic is related with the protein synthesis. So here I have made some slides related with the protein synthesis. It is some of summary kind of diagram where we can see the total process in the 3 steps. Generally, we divide protein synthesis in three different major steps. These are the initiation, elongation, and termination. If you see the initiation step, no doubt, uh, for protein synthesis, looking at the figure, you will come to know whether the words are readable.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes.
sir. Yes, sir. It is readable.
Okay. So here, for to start the protein synthesis, generally here we can say major 4 components are required. So one is no doubt messenger RNA, and it comes from the nucleus by taking some message from the nucleus by that genetic material. Second one necessary part is that is tRNA, which we can see here at the left corner. And the third type of RNA is called as ribosomal RNA. And here we see the ribosomal subunits, that is here is the means rRNA. So for synthesis of proteins, these 3 basic components are very much essential. So we require here it requires mRNA, it requires tRNA, it requires rRNA. No doubt the shape and form of each RNA is different. The role of each RNA is different. Okay, we'll see how they combine together to form the protein. So this is somewhat the overview, we can say helicopter view of the protein synthesis pathway. So in initiation step, these 3 components means tRNA, mRNA, rRNA join together. Okay, so to form a complex. Now this complex is responsible for elongation of the chain. Okay, means adding some amino acids at the other end, so that elongation of amino acid, and in essence the synthesis of protein takes place. So elongation. And in third step, that is termination, generally if you observe at the mRNA in the initiation step, there is AUG act as a start codon and UAG act as a stop codon. Okay, so when the synthetic machinery comes to that stop codon, the process stops and the protein synthesis get terminated. So in short, we can say this is the summary type of protein synthesis. Now, if you refer the books and net, you will find the initiation step is again divided into many different sub steps. But to understand these sub steps, we must understand the protein synthesis is carried out in these 3 main steps. Okay. So before going to these steps in detail, there is one video that will, when you see the video, you will come to know how exactly protein synthesis takes place. So tRNA, that pink part is rRNA having 30S ribosomal subunit, and the red is called as here mRNA. So these 3 basic parts come together. So the process starts. Then with the help of some other factors, the elongation takes place. Generally here the 3 sites are identified. P site at the center, A site and the E site, which is called as exit site. So what happens after joining of this first tRNA, second tRNA comes, which is anticodon to the CCG here. So anticodon here, GGC. So that only bind. And if you observe that amino acid, which is at the top end of that tRNA, now joins to the amino acid of the second. So peptide linkage formation takes place. Then the process here it is called as translocation. So location of that S ribosomes gets changed. That through E site, the tRNA, empty tRNA exit out, and to the new A site, next tRNA comes. Then peptide bond formation takes place. That tRNA, which was there in the P site, now comes into the E site so that it can be exited. The A site becomes free, so next tRNA can come there, and likewise the process get repeated. So here, keep in mind, only tRNA which is having anticodon to the particular codon get only attached to that position. Nothing different other than that is possible. Now here UA is a stop codon which signals that the process has to stop now, and therefore the synthesized protein, mRNA, rRNA, sRNA means all RNA and that synthesized protein gets separated. So this is how, in short, the process takes place. So I have shown you this video before the sub steps, because then what we are going to discuss in next slides, we will understand it easily. So in detailing, when we talk about step 1, that is initiation, can you see the font size there?
No, sir.
Or I can
From the
bit
image.
somewhat. Okay, so looking at the basic material that is required for initiation step is, no doubt, as we have discussed, tRNA, mRNA, then rRNA, these are required. And this rRNA is in the form of 30S and 50S subunits. And along with that, it requires some other factors called as initiation factors. So such a kind of factors are required for every step. So if the factors are involved in the initiation step, these are called as initiation factors, IF. So in short, they are written as a IF. So here, these initiation factors are required. If you observe now the sub step at ground level, then you will come to know that to start this protein synthesis, there should be association of these different kinds of material. It requires 30th subunit, it requires initiation factors 1, 2, 3, it requires GTP. Okay, when these 5 components come together, okay, then now this is called as pre-initiation complex generally. Now this pre-initiation complex again requires, means when it combines with the initiator, that tRNA and mRNA. So now here the thing is that we have to understand the slipper like or that shoe like structure here in the what we say green color here. Here it is the in the form of rRNA. To the left it is tRNA and to the right it is mRNA. So no doubt, as we have discussed in initial summary or what we say helicopter view slide, where all these 3 RNAs must have come together so as to form, so as to start the process. So no doubt here mRNA, tRNA and rRNA in the form of 30th subunit is there, and when they join together they give the structure called as 30S initiation complex. Now during that association step, the IF3, that is initiation factor 3, goes out, and whatever other factors, other material is there in the 30S initiation complex. Now if you see the arrangement of that material, mRNA binding site is there, So here also we can observe three different locations where exactly that further binding can take place. Now this 30s initiation complex, okay, okay, I'll discuss about what is S and 30 and 50 and 60 in the presentation. So 30s initiation complex, when it combines with the 50s subunit and to form the 70s initiation complex. Now you will try to add 30 plus 50 is equal to 80. Then how here is the 70? Okay, that we'll see how it comes in next slide. So here just keep in mind, many times the students who are not what we say punctual during the teaching time, they generally add it. So 30 plus 50, they say the formed unit is the 80s sub initiation complex. So that's why you have to be cautious here. So this 30s initiation complex and 50s subunit when joined together to give 70s initiation complex, during this step the GDP plus PI plus factor 1 and plus factor 2, that is initiation factor 1 and 2, they all removed out, and that the 50s subunit joins on the uh, initiation complex, that is 30s, and to form the 70s initiation complex. So the video that we have just viewed before, having such a small unit and such a large unit, here the larger unit is having means the number is 50s and the smaller is the 30, and the total when combined together we called it as a 70s initiation complex. If you observe here also, E site is there, P site is there, and A site is there. As we have seen, what is the role of E site? So through E site, the tRNA after removal of amino acid is get exited from that particular site. And when translocation takes place, no doubt whatever there in the A site now comes into the P site and A site becomes free. So so the next tRNA attaches at the, so generally it is because of attachment. So A is stands for attachment. So attachment takes place at A site. The processing generally, the what we say peptide linkage takes place at the peptide, so P site, and the remaining means the tRNA without amino acid goes means exit out. So the site is called as E site. So generally this cascade of the reactions here is called as initiation. Okay, now it is somewhat in detail as we have discussed earlier. If we move, okay, just I have told to you that what is that S and what is that 30 and what is 18 and what is 40. So we know density, we calculate density as mass upon volume. Okay, I'll talk about S. What is that S there? So mass upon volume, we know it is density. And unit of density is Swedberg and represented as S, capital S. Okay, so this unit corresponding to the relative rate of sedimentation during ultra high speed centrifugation. So this is how the technical and some experimental part is there. And the greater the, so based on, so which helps in calculating the, or which helps in indicating the density. So greater the S value, no doubt more dense the particle. So density, it is related with the density. So if the larger value, S value is there, no doubt the particle is dense, more dense. So when we see prokaryotic ribosomes, generally these are composed of two subunits with densities 50s and 30s. And as I have told, 50 plus 30, it should have 80, but here the total number is 70. So it is not the mathematical equation. Okay, we can't add 50 plus 30. Then what is this 50 and what is this 30? Okay, so that 50 and 30 is related with the different rRNA molecules and different protein molecules. No doubt. म्हणजे बघा, so here that rRNA is again made from different rRNA particles and different protein itself. So formation of protein requires protein itself, because that rRNA is made from different RNA molecules and different protein molecules. So that determines the density, that determines how much dense that material is, and based on that, the numbers are given. So in prokaryotic, it is 50s, 30s, and in eukaryotic, it is 60s, 40s. Okay, so 60 plus 40, it should have 100. Okay, but it is not like that, it is 80s. Because they contain, and the explanation is same as above. Now, why I have put this information before you? Because we know antimicrobials. What is the role of antimicrobial? We generally say when infection is there, we take antimicrobials. So if microbial infection is there, we take generally antibiotics, which act as an antimicrobial. So it kills or prevent the growth of that microbe inside the body. Now, how that drug know that this is the microbial cell and this is the human cell? How he identifies? Okay, so here the reason is that, as we have seen here, the prokaryotic ribosomes are divided into two subunits, 50 and 30S, and eukaryotic ribosomes are divided into two subunits, 60 and 40S. So this difference in subunits is responsible for different in the shape. Okay, no doubt 30, 60, 40, 50, these are the numbers which indicates its denseness. Okay, how much dense it is, and no doubt it will again reflect the shape. Okay, shape, or what we can say, it's geometry in 3D space. So no doubt the geometry of each subunit is different, nothing is similar. So generally when we talk about antimicrobials, how they work, what they do, they attach to the 30S or 50S subunit of this rRNA. Then what will happen? Okay, we have made such a kind of drug which only attach to the 30S and 50S unit, and no doubt it will not attack on the 60 and 40S. So what will happen in that case? Selective binding of that drug with the prokaryotes takes place. Okay, that antimicrobial agent, that drug will not bind to the subunits of the human cell. Okay, and that's why human cells will having no effect, okay, of that drug, whereas that prokaryotic becomes effective because the drug is selective only for 50 or 30S unit. Okay, and that's how the antimicrobial works. So this is what about the short introduction to the what we say, what is that S and what is that 60, 40, 30, 50. Okay, I think you come to know what it is. Okay, second step is elongation. Now I'll again zoom it. It was the uh, initiation complex that was formed in initiation. So if you observe this structure, mRNA, first codon, second codon, A site, P site, empty site, and F-met, which is attached at first number, at first codon. So when we see elongation, no doubt at A site, some other tRNA should come there, then only it will uh, uh, help in the forming the peptide linkage. Okay, so before attaching that next tRNA, it requires some other factors. Okay, what other factors it requires? So no doubt, if you see this chain which starts from here EFTU, that is elongation factor TU, along with the GDP. Okay, when it combines with EF, means elongation factor TS GTP, it is converted into EFTU GTP. This elongation factor TU GTP and this second codon, means second tRNA, when they combine together to form a complex, and this complex now attaches at the A site. Now, if you observe the structure, all elongation factors along with that second tRNA is there on the complex. In next step, what happens? This complex dissociates. So now what is the role of these factors? So here we can observe the role is to generally to assemble all those things. So here the assemble of second tRNA at the A site. So that was the role of these factors. So after joining of this tRNA at the A site, these factors releases. Okay, so here if we observe pi plus that elongation factor TU and GDP become separate, which is again recycled and the elongation chain repeats. So here, after removal of these elongation factors, now there occurs a peptide bond formation in the next step. So peptidyl transferase enzyme is there, which causes the amino acid 1 and amino acid 2 to join together. Okay, so peptide bond formation takes place, and once peptide bond formation takes place, the next step, that amino acid 1 and amino acid 2 joins, and this first tRNA becomes empty. Now, in next step, translocation takes place. Sorry. Before that translocation, it requires some other factors like elongation factor G along with the GTP. So this factor is responsible for pulling the 70S subunit to the next location, to the next site. Okay, and because of that, there occurs the translocation. If you observe the two structures, because of that factor, the 70S towards the right hand side. Okay, and once it is moved, that elongation factor G along with the GDP becomes separate. Okay, and this again helps in and at this translocation site, the discharge of tRNA through the exit site takes place. Okay, then again it is converted into the original structure from where we have started, and likewise the cycle repeated. So different amino acids get joined together at the other end, which is based on the anticodon, which is determined by the codon on the mRNA. So likewise, protein synthesis means that elongation of the chain takes place. So in short, we can see the processes through the diagram. Last step is termination. Okay, as this 70S subunit moves along the mRNA, once it comes, if you observe at the top, that dotted line, which is the polypeptide chain, which is attached still to the tRNA, and it is there in the P site. So how the process come to know that how the peptide or how the protein now or how this 70S unit come to know that now I have to stop. So generally we know stop codons, or it is having other name is called as nonsense codons, because they are having no any sense. Okay, they do not code for any kind of tRNA, so called as nonsense codon or stop codon. When they are present on the chain, no any kind of tRNA is there which is having anticodon with respect to that, and so no elongation takes place, and which indicates that the process has to stop now, process has to terminate now. And because of that, no doubt it also requires some releasing factors. Here we can say termination factors along with the GTP, and after that these termination factors are released, ribosomal subunits are released, original mRNA is also released, empty tRNA released, and along with that the main product, that is polypeptide, is released. Sorry. So here in this way the polypeptide, or we can say the protein synthesis, takes place. Here the process is the termination. If you observe the sequence of protein synthesis in a reverse manner, okay, proteins are synthesized, and how proteins are synthesized? It was based on peptide linkage in the amino acid. Okay, because proteins are formed by joining of the amino acids. Okay, why these amino acids have joined? Because different amino acids on A site, P site come together, and it was based on the anticodon. Now, anticodon of what? Anticodon of tRNA. And we know at the one end of tRNA there is amino acid, and anticodon is that opposite end. So anticodon binds to the codon which is on the mRNA. So here mRNA codes determines what kind of amino acid sequence should be there and what kind of protein is there. So that's why codons on mRNA will determine the sequence of amino acids, that is what is called as anticodons. And why these codons on mRNA are there. Means we are talking here, we are seeing the reverse manner. Okay, why codons are there on the mRNA? Because the name itself indicates mRNA is a messenger RNA. It has taken message from the nucleus. And how it has taken the message from nucleus? Through the RNA synthesis. Okay, the process is called as transcription that you have already studied. Transcription. And how this RNA synthesis takes place? For the synthesis of RNA, it requires DNA replication. So DNA replication is the starting point, we can say. So for the synthesis of protein, it requires DNA synthesis. After DNA synthesis, mRNA synthesis will take place. Whatever message is there, that message is now converted into the sequence of an acid, is called as now the peptide, or here we call it as a protein. So this is how the protein synthesis takes place. See, we require protein synthesis, but the message, but the signal, but the information which is there in the genetic material, that is now transported in the form of, means converted in the form of protein. So message that was there in the DNA. Generally we see genetic material, this is genetic. Generally we see the disease is genetic. If sugar, diabetes is there, we say that or hypertension is there, the condition, we say that the condition is genetic. How it is genetic? So this is how the sequence in protein synthesis explains us how it is genetic, because what everything is there in the DNA sequence, and that sequence means the message is taken by the mRNA. That mRNA translate it in the form of amino acid, and in the sequence means in the form of protein, and that's why the required protein synthesis takes place. So again, if you understood these three steps, I'll summarize these three steps again in the second video. Will now the concept will be clear to you. So DNA strand is there, and this step is somewhat the combination of RNA synthesis as well as protein synthesis. So from DNA strand, first step is to form the mRNA. So this is how mRNA takes place, and we have seen primase, primer, and 3' 5' end, okay, and 3' 5' end, and the elongation takes place. RNA molecules get synthesized. Now see, at particular part of DNA only it is attached. Only particular part of DNA is copied, and that copied part is now released from that original DNA strand. So whatever genetic information was there in the DNA, now it is copied. Now the sequence has been taken by this mRNA. Now this mRNA comes out from the nucleus, because the DNA is there in the nucleus. Now this mRNA comes out from the nucleus. When this mRNA comes in contact with 30S, 50S, these some units, okay, as we have discussed, A site, P site, E site, okay, there occurs the attachment of S subunit, rRNA, tRNA, and mRNA. Now this is how anticodon gets joined. Then larger unit of ribosomal subunit come there to form a complex, and this is how initiation takes place. So this is initiation complex. No doubt it is having A site, P site, E site. So the next A site, second tRNA comes, and if you observe at the end of that second tRNA there is amino acid. So these amino acid joined together, we call it as a peptide linkage, and the free tRNA exit out through the E site. Okay, now observe the S location. It locates, it changes its position, so called as translocation. Now A site becomes empty. Next tRNA comes there, which joins to codon, anticodon. Third amino acid is joined, and the second. So likewise, factory like work is there, and these processes takes place in seconds. So see the rate of protein synthesis in our body, and see how organized the material is, how organized the process is. So this is how the protein synthesis takes place. I think looking at the initial video and the last video, and going through the these three steps in detail, you come to know exactly what or how the protein synthesis takes place. Okay. So from my end, this is the my side. This is the end of the session today. Uh, if you have any query, if you have any doubt, you can ask here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. It was a very nice session. Okay, you have taken a basic tour of protein synthesis. So I like to ask students if you have any query about this protein synthesis topic. So you can just raise your hand. I can unmute you from here, and you can ask the question to sir. So sir will make you clear the doubts. Sir, can you stop screen sharing from your side?
Okay, 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 no problem.
Yeah.
I'll stop.
Yeah. Any student
I think there is the message of time limit.
getting no, almost actually this is my second meeting now, so not an issue, sir. They'll be
Okay,
giving up.
okay,
They will
okay,
be giving.
okay, 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 no problem.
Yeah, students who want to ask any question or any queries you have, please you can raise your hand so that
Dear students, feel free to ask any kind of question related with this matter. So the thing is that you have to understand the concept, and once you get the concept only, then because for next year and for all coming year, it is required thing, because
yeah,
unless and until we know how proteins are synthesized in our body, how we are going to deal with or how we are going to inhibit the enzyme or the hormone or whatever it may be related with that. So protein is the basic thing, and that's why I have chosen this topic for you.
students please come on to the questions. Okay, that will be very helpful for you. Okay, many more final students or students are also over here. So
Okay.
mostly your students, you know that you are going to study about antibacterial, antiviral, and all that drugs. Okay, this topic is far more important for you people. Yeah, anyone? Please raise your hand so that I will unmute you from here. Yes, students, come out with the questions. I think you don't have any queries.
Two possibilities are there.
Right, sir.
Yes. So okay, no problem. If they are having any kind of query, they can message you. They can message me, and no doubt we can solve that problem privately also. No doubt. If they want to such a kind of interaction, then there is no problem from my side.
Yeah, and I think everyone, first year students, you know, sir, actually better. Actually, he was there as an resource person, I think so, for us during last semester for biochemistry itself. He came one day, sir, right?
Before 2 months ago.
Yeah, 2 months ago.
Two, 2, 3 months ago.
Right. Uh, Fine. I think nobody's having any queries, sir. Okay. So towards to Priyanka, ma'am. Am I audible to you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. May I audible? Am I
Yeah.
audible, sir?
Yeah, you're audible. Okay. So almost
Okay, okay.
there is no any query.
Okay.
So you can
Okay, okay.
start
Very
with the
good.
oath of thanks, and then at the end we will
Okay.
submit e-certificate to sir.
Okay. Thank you so much, my sir. You have
Okay.
taken very good session, wonderful session, and very informative it was. Then I would like to thanks the management of SDSS Anna Saheb Dange College of Pharmacy, Ashta, Executive Director Mr. Kanesh sir, and Principal Sir RB Zadu sir for providing such a wonderful platform to us. Also like to thank Vice Principal Mr. Jagtap sir and Sadhne sir for arrangement of this webinar series. And thanks to the Sutas sir for hosting this session. And lastly, all the participants for attending this webinar. So thank you guys for attending this. Thank you, Mani sir.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Proceed, sir.
Yeah.
Sudha sir.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. My sir, here is e-certificate, which is an appreciation certificate from our college to you, sir. And once
Okay.
again, thank you for giving your valuable time and explaining about the protein synthesis. Is it visible, sir?
Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you. No problem.
Yeah, this is what the certificate of appreciation, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I would like to ask all the students to open their video so we can have one photo session and we can end up with the webinar session. Yeah, everyone, please. Yeah, Tarlekar ma'am, Abhijit Patil, Tanuja Kulkarni, Power Hari, Jyotsna Patil, Arti Mali, Rukaya, please on your videos. Aditya Vankar, please on your video. Prathamesh Patil, fine. Yeah, everyone just look to your camera, okay? Everyone just look to your camera. Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you once again. It was a very
Okay,
nice
sir.
session. You have taken a basic tour to the molecular levels to of particularly protein synthesis.
Okay.
Fine.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. Jagtap sir, thank you very much for supporting and conducting this, so for supporting this webinar session. Fine. So from my side, I will end up with the session. Thank you once again, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, good day, everyone. Bye bye. So,
Good day. Bye.
students,
Good day.
see by afternoon session we have another two sessions, so you can join, okay, and enjoy the other two sessions. I think it's 1 o'clock and other is at 3 o'clock. So please do join that both the sessions. Thank you very much, everyone. Bye bye. Have a good day.